Hello, this is News Channel Nebraska. Hope your day is going well so far. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm McKay. Coming up, a northeast Nebraska man was life-flighted from the scene of a motorcycle accident yesterday. We'll have details from the scene coming up. Also, authorities say two women are lucky after a harrowing water rescue yesterday afternoon. Some must-see video coming up. Plus, wind farms aren't popular everywhere, but one Nebraska community will soon have one of their own. We'll have the details. And later this hour, a central Nebraska town once again paying tribute to a hometown Hall of Famer. All of those stories and much more on the way, but a return to the heat wave statewide. It's going to be hot. Here's a quick look at your AccuWeather forecast. Great news out of Asia. The official heading the Thai cave rescue operation says the four boys brought out of the flooded cave by divers today are safe, conscious, and now resting in a hospital. Chiang Rai's acting governor Norongsak Asatanakorn also told a news conference that today's operation took less time than Sunday's because of the experience accumulated and the more people involved. 8 of the 13 trapped people, 12 boys and their 25-year-old soccer coach, have now been rescued. Norongsak said he's not sure if the remaining 5 people will be extracted in one or more operations. Leading things off today, Norfolk firefighters were busy this morning battling flames after a car caught fire on 12th Street just north of Paswalk Avenue. Rescue officials at the scene told News Channel Nebraska the flames started from the dashboard of the car, then made their way to the back of the car, causing more damage. No injuries were reported. No one was in the car at the time of the fire. The cause is still under investigation. Well, just like the hero of his action-adventure novels, John Witzel has led a double life. In the Air Force, Witzel kept aircraft flying on course as a navigator. Lately, he's been trying to get a writing career off the ground. Now, reaction from Nebraska's delegation began pouring in almost immediately. Nebraska's junior senator, Ben Sasse, sits on the Judiciary Committee. He will be among the most active in Kavanaugh's confirmation process. He issued a statement last night praising the choice and offering condemnation of Democrats. Leading things off this hour, remarkably, a pilot walked away unscathed from a helicopter crash in southeast Nebraska. Happened just after 9 p.m. yesterday, south of the town of Rulo. The copter could be seen laying on its side with debris scattered throughout a Jefferson County soybean field. The cause of the crash is under investigation. County sheriff's officials say no one was injured. In other news, an Iowa woman recovering from burns after a propane tank exploded in her car. Happened Saturday on an interstate east of Omaha. Law enforcement officials say 42-year-old Angela Thurman was driving with 3 propane tanks in her car, one of which was leaking. Police say when she lit a cigarette, the tank exploded. She was able to stop the car and get out just before another propane tank and the gas tank of the car blew up. Thurman is currently recovering in a burn unit in Lincoln. 2 women who led police on a high-speed chase earlier this year won't be going to jail for their crimes. The Kearney Hub is reporting that 29-year-old Jesse Schaefer and 26-year-old Amber Grant each got 9 months of probation in Custer County District Court. Now, the 2 pleaded guilty to possession of a controlled substance but could have faced much more serious charges. Back in December, authorities say the women led police on a 45-minute high-speed chase from Broken Bow to Anselmo. Reports say Schaefer even struck an officer in the mouth while being apprehended. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of drugs are off the streets after 2 traffic stops in southern Nebraska. The York County Sheriff's Office said 15 pounds of marijuana was found in a traffic stop on I-80 near York on Saturday. That pot carried an estimated street value of $200,000. Then the next day, the Sheriff's Office made another stop where they confiscated another $150,000 worth of marijuana. 3 people from Michigan were taken to the York County Jail in that stop. A Nebraska mental hospital being sued for violating state rules. Dr. Fareed Karimi of the Regional Center in Lincoln is suing the Department of Health and Human Services for violations of state rules and regulations that have affected the care of patients. Dr. Karimi says he told the chief operating officer and the center's psychiatric director of the violations, but neither addressed the issues. According to the lawsuit, there have been multiple violations, including failure to use passive restraints on patients who need to be on highly restrictive status, resulting in repeated assaults and injuries to staff. An architect is trying to save a building earmarked for a new juvenile justice center. Bob Perrin owns the brick building at the corner of 18th and Howard in Omaha. Now, the Douglas County Board is discussing whether or not to use eminent domain to take over the property and renovate it into a $120 million facility designed to deal with juvenile offenders. But Perrin says the building carries too much history for that usage. He says he'd like to renovate the space into condominiums or offices. The building was constructed in 1920 and was once the home of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. A Grand Island building could be going from preschool to alternative school. The Northwest School Board yesterday heard a presentation from Superintendent Matt Fisher about the Lockwood School. The board in May voted to relocate the district's preschool from Lockwood to Chapman, and now Fisher would like to turn Lockwood into an alternative behavior school. Fisher said if approved, the district could begin housing alternative ed students as soon as this fall. The board didn't vote on the plan, though, which could potentially also include the hiring of new para-educators as well for the district. Now, this man is on a mission to mow. 29-year-old Rodney Smith from Alabama is on a quest to mow lawns for the elderly, disabled, and other needy folks across all 50 states this summer. He got the idea 3 years ago when he came across an elderly man struggling to mow his lawn. That marked the beginning of a long journey, and it isn't the first time he's done it. He mowed lawns in all 50 states last year as well. This past weekend, Nebraska became the 45th stop on Smith's 50-state journey as he mowed for an Omaha woman who has battled cancer and lost her husband about 8 years ago. And a Central Nebraska Special Olympics athlete got a surprise hero's welcome over the weekend. The town of Palmer turned out Saturday to welcome home Wyatt Bader, who won 4 powerlifting gold medals from the Special Olympics USA Games in Seattle. The 4-time national champ got an escort back into town courtesy of the Merritt County Sheriff's Department and the Palmer Fire Department. Much more to come. You're watching NCN.